A lost kingdom, a vanishing one to be more precise, and technology like we've never seen before might be two of the most important things to know about the Aquaman sequel. Of course, together with the wonderful cast that is coming back for it and the upgraded new suit of the new King of Atlantis. Recap.
You're ready. Atlantis is always...
Debuting in 2013, the DC Extended Universe, or in short DCEU, has become a collection of broad and diverse movies based on fabled DC superheroes, supervillains, and anti-heroes. And with 10 movies under its belt, we think that the people overlooking the DCEU are finally getting the hang of it. And we're saying this with a lot of certainties because despite the DCEU being far less interesting and successful than the MCU, it's constantly improving. There is no doubt about, however, there is still a lot of ground to cover, and we think that the Aquaman sequel will be one of the future projects from the DCEU that will help bridge that gap, as the sequel, now officially titled Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, is expected to be an even bigger success than the first movie. This can be seen in the fact that the highest-grossing DCEU movie is not featuring The Dark Knight, The Man of Steel, or The Princess of Themyscira. The movie that sits on the throne of success with over $1 billion at the box office is none other than Jason Momoa's Aquaman. The movie is where it is right now, as it presented itself to be an interesting addition to the DCEU and an interesting project viewed from several angles. It was the first movie to use underwater filming technology, which without a doubt made Atlantis feel like a real tangible place. The movie was also able to catapult Jason Momoa from the shadows of his role in the Game of Thrones series, so when everything is taken into consideration, and the fact that the movie was the biggest success Warner Bros. Has up until now, it was only a matter of time before a sequel gets announced, as hefty expectations from director James Wan are expected, who we think with his crew will try and outdo himself with the second on-screen sequel of the beloved character. The latest virtual event held during this past fall in the form of DC Fandom showcased a plethora of DC projects that will be taking place over the next year. The event featured teasers for Black Adam, a full-length trailer for the already released The Batman movie with Robert Pattinson in the lead role, many other DC-related projects, but also a teaser for the upcoming sequel, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. The clip of the movie was supported by a promise from Momoa, who said that there is a bigger story to tell moving forward, with the sequel being the one with a story that will span around the globe, both above and below the surface of the oceans, and given the title of the movie, we should expect even more deep-sea exploration in the movie itself. Additional information regarding the movie was given by the director of the movie, James Wan, who said that the movie will be greatly influenced by the Spanish-Italian horror movie Planet of the Vampires from 1965. Now, we don't exactly know what this really means, but one thing we can take from this is that the movie will have some horror elements, which would give the sequel a whole different look when compared to its predecessor. And with everything said, let's dive right in and see what we're dealing with, especially judging by the fact that the movie is scheduled to release in less than a year, with it set to release on December 16, 2022. This lands the movie between two other DC films, The Flash, which is set to release on November 4, 2022, and Shazam! Fury of the Gods on the 2nd of June 2023. All of the three movies mentioned above are helmed by acclaimed horror directors Andy Muschietti, with The Flash, and David F. Sandberg with Shazam! Fury of the Gods, both of whom will be joining the DCEU for the first time. And now, with the filming of the movie officially underway in July 2021, let's see how things stand and who will be part of the sequel. Cast. As for the cast side of things, there's no doubt about Jason Momoa and if he's gonna return as Arthur Curry, aka Aquaman, because let's face it, there's no Aquaman without Momoa, and that is a fact. He's the one who brought the character to life, and he'll be there yet again to make the character even greater, but now in a new, much sleeker, darker stealth suit with a suit filled with Atlantean tech, including a cephalopods-based camouflaging ability. Outside of being with a more muted color scheme, the suit lacks gauntlets and fins on the boots. Maybe Arthur learned to continue without training wheels. No matter what the case may be, we'll have to wait and see. Despite all of the drama which brought Amber Heard straight to the public eye, she's been confirmed to be returning as Mira, the water-bending Atlantean, who will most likely become an even closer companion of Arthur. Like, that's even possible. Fans will be glad to hear that Yahya Abdul-Mateen II will be returning as Aquaman's human nemesis Black Manta, who seems to be training even harder not just for the character or the sequel, but also outside of the movie as well. Getting ready to be well in shape, his excitement is clear, just like the one we have in all of our homes. Other returning characters from the first movie are Patrick Wilson's Orm, who will now look like a buff castaway more than an ocean master, toned, tan, and surprisingly land. Tim Wera will again return as Arthur's human father Thomas Curry, who will be joined by Dolph Lundgren as King Nereus of Zebu, one of the 7 kingdoms of Atlantis. Nicole Kidman is not going anywhere, as she's also back for the sequel in the role of Atlanta, Aquaman's mother from the sea, and how could we forget Willem Dafoe, who will be back once again for the role of Vulko. Plot. Despite being in the same universe, Warner Bros. Seems to have moved away from the connection between their projects, with their new approach being more focused on specific and isolated stories in its DC Comics universe. Thus, it's unclear as to which will the setting of the movie be. As for the actual plot of the movie, nothing even close to canon has been said about the movie, outside of some bits and pieces about what will the movie look like when it releases, and what should we expect. That said, the movie is supposedly going to be on a more serious side of things when compared to the first, and a little more relevant to the world we're living in today. There are 2 things that Wan said about the movie, which might give us a little perspective. Firstly, that as we said before, he took a lot of inspiration from the Italian horror movie Planet of Vampires from 1965, and secondly, he posted hints specifically pertaining the lost kingdom of Necrus, which in the comics is a vanishing city foiled against Atlantis, with the city itself disappearing and reappearing in different places through the wonder of technology. Thus, we might be seeing even more sci-fi elements involved in the second movie, with Aquaman needing all the technology Atlantis has to offer in order to defeat the foe that is gonna come before him, and the fact that there will be horror elements involved, we should be expecting something big. Sadly, this is everything we managed to sneak away for the sequel, with more information coming your way as time passes on, and the movie comes closer and closer to being released. On a related note, tell us down in the comments below what are your thoughts on the first Aquaman movie, but also his character both in his solo movie and as part of the Justice League. What are the things that intrigued you the most, and what are your expectations for the sequel regarding the plot? Judging by the fact that that is the sphere we know almost nothing at all, and also don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.